As a freshman, Stephon Castle was an integral part of UConn winning their second straight national title, as he immediately stepped into a role and figured out how to make an impact in whatever way the team needed him. As a 6'6" wing or off guard, he put up solid numbers in a few areas and is one of the absolute best perimeter defenders in the class, and offensively he's a capable finisher and cutter and a solid connected passer. Now the biggest questions come from his outside shot and just how much he's capable of as a creator in comparison to the role that he played this year, but as a winner with some bankable traits and possible untapped upside. Starting on the defensive end, Castle has a chance to be great at the point of attack, potentially defending 3 positions in the NBA depending on the matchup, and his combination of size, lateral ability, and instincts make him a pest out there on the perimeter. He has a wide base, he absorbs contact and defends well with his chest, and he does a good job of mirroring players and beating them to spots. He's also comfortable from a variety of different pickup points, and when he is beat, he recovers well back into plays. But I was frequently most impressed by how he defended in the pick and roll, especially down the stretch, using many of those same attributes, but also being physical but adaptive in navigating screens, closing gaps, and using the screener to get leverage. He also recovered well in the plays here and was a presence in defending from behind. And when you match what he brings out there with someone as elite as Donovan Clingan on the other side, it made for a very tough duo to score on at the college level. Even as tough as the job is as a young player defending NBA level creators, I think Castle can have an immediate niche as a perimeter or point of attack defender and has the potential to grow even further should he make it a priority as a defining piece of his game.
Such a great moment. He's a stud. He is. He's a great kid too. Quad had it blocked at Johnson.
11 assists now for the Huskies. Just 3 turnovers. Purdue stuck in mud here.
That's really Cam Jones fighting Castle. Really giving him a hard time. 2 great athletes competing against each other.
3:20, Alabama.
Boy, they do spread you out. It's coach different.
You know, that's across the board.
But the little lip. 36-30, Huskies.
Look at the double.
Not a great look. Intercepted.
Really good looks in that one. Bates not into that jump shot.
Draw Connecticut back.
It's their biggest deficit tonight, losing the ball.
Won 3 in a row. Had that snapped against Creighton blown out on Wednesday night. Bateson on the interior. Pringle on a kickout. Sears had a rough
late in the year to see this level of defense is breathtaking.
And the Arrows doing a good job by Jones. I'm letting him get touches.
Look at the Big East tournament last year, so UConn wants to kind of duplicate that effort.
This feels like the same script for UConn.
Really does.
They could just take over the game. Smith off the mark.
Now off the ball, he hasn't been the most active in terms of steal and block rates, though still capable. And while that's an easy way to add value and has historically been a big indicator for future defensive success, I think his impact here is clear with his feel for help responsibilities in rotations. He quickly learned the ropes as a help defender under Coach Hurley as he was consistently attentive. He executed doubles, X-outs, and rotated out of many different situations. He switched with ease and great communication, quickly identifying things and getting his teammates in proper position. And though he's not a shot blocker, he came up with a few standout help side contests as well. He took on the chaser role in several games and was solid there too, and he's also a positive rebounder for his position. Now I still would like to see Castle come up with a few more stocks in the future, and obviously as a young player he wasn't flawless here, but he was a positive presence and has the tools to be an impactful defender early in his career and in more than one way.
Because of the continual motion of UConn, which gets you out of position.
Fredericksburg, Virginia. Steal. Castle.
Really to shoot the 3. There he goes. Misses the shot.
Always great team. Hawkins with 3. With the rebound. Should stay hungry, right? You got to stay hungry. You can't think you're already there.
On a bounce in Shireman. Bumped inside by Castle. Shireman for 3, off the side.
Takes it in, gives it up.
Pringle doesn't look.
Steal.
Now offensively, there's still a lot that's in question heading into the NBA, but Castle's ability to finish plays as an off-ball threat, operating as a cutter, and executing sets within his UConn offense was apparent. He's a solid athlete who uses his body very well and finished at about 60% at the rim. He has good timing as a cutter and has a knack for being in the right spot even in congested situations or after an initial set broke down. He was also at times used as a screener and converted well, and I think there's a possibility he could do more of that in the NBA early on in more of a gadget role, similar to what guys like Bruce Brown and Terrence Mann have done over the years. And he also made an impact on the offensive glass, showing off his feel and athleticism and converting at a high clip. We'll touch on it more later, but he also had some positive flashes as a driver, often operating out of the pick and roll and against teams in rotation. He's strong and has been able to fend off the defense with his frame. He's played well off of two around the rim and shown a pace and footwork to his game in close that frequently got him good angles to finish, and his most efficient play type was in transition, running on the wing and bringing the ball up the floor. Now he isn't the elite athlete or defensive playmaker that I would expect a lot from him here in the future, but it was a positive, especially in a search for more creativity from him as a scorer. He at least showed it in spurts with some of the step throughs and Euros.
77 points a game. They have just been house class.
Buckner's got the mismatch, but they don't see it.
Castle, 5 to shoot over Kalkbrenner.
Spurts, screen, slips. Good defense right now. It has been. Tough shot. Castle, a floater goes.
Another turnover. 2 more points off the turnover.
Another deflection up ahead. Castle is going to take it inside. Spencer takes it down. Newton on a run out. This is man Castle.
This right there running Xavier out of the building.
Oh no! And that time he didn't get it up on the board.
And he didn't hit a shot until the final shot. The game, Castle
Into his own man and a turnover. Castle, look out in these situations.
Away. Castle. Euro.
And finishing it up here, Castle made a consistent impact as a passer and playmaker in a number of ways, and he should be able to fill that connective role well, while more of the advantage creation playmaking is still in question. The majority of his reads and even assists came as a product of their offense, but within that he was a good ball mover. He made on-time extra passes, entry passes, and backdoors. He made some plays in the pick and roll, both finding the roll man and flashing some of the skip pass prowess he showed on previous levels, and he did it all while taking care of the ball and limiting turnovers. Now, Castle previously had more responsibility as a playmaker and was even a point guard in a lot of situations, but with Newton there and the way UConn runs their offense, that wasn't going to be the case. But I do think he's capable of more if the scoring takes the necessary steps forward. But with what he already does well in his feel, he should be a positive asset in whatever role he's in early on.
Ricochet by Jones.
This is the pressure they put on you. Look at this run out by Caravan.
By Castle, 7. Look at him down the middle. Castle to Newton. Rises up. Over the last month plus of his season out in California.
Well, good for him. Take that edge next.
Turn the corner. Swing.
And that boo was a complimentary boo.
Yes.
This terrific player relationship you over the years to come. Oh, don't leave the ball.
With that Pilfer. The return to Cinder. Look at that. In the lane. By Castle. Looking to run.
Nobody back. And look at that.
For Castle, the three-point shot is going to continue to be a major swing skill. He shot about 27% from deep on the year on around 2 attempts a game and just under that mark on catch and shoot opportunities. He is another player I don't think is in the worst starting spot mechanically. The energy transfer is okay, shot readiness wasn't always there, but the balance was fine. Now he does have a slight lean to the left, he can shoot a flat ball and has inconsistent misses, but I don't think it's broken in totality. However, his reluctance and hesitancy to shoot was as concerning as anything. Teams didn't respect him at all, and he had way too many moments where he'd hesitate in travels, throw himself off rhythm, or pass up an open look for a contested one for either himself or a teammate. And that's always going to be the worst decision to make, even on a team where he was going to defer often given the other available options. So first, you just want to see more confidence from him, because this will be the easiest way to be a plus offensive player aside from that gadget role, or if a team gives him real point guard duties. It might take a couple years, but I think he can at least flirt with league average and knock down open ones. And if you're super high on him, you're pretty much banking on this happening.
That is the
Seton Hall, shot clock at 4.
They do it very unstuck.
Castle, they've given him that.
Down the lane on the kick.
Castle's so good at getting into the paint.
Well, they just want him to, if he makes the three, so yeah, they dared him.
Caravan in the lane. Castle, 4 on the clock.
They are on this end of the floor. A lot of cutting, screening, and giving it to him again. He's right.
Now, the other piece of his game that's a big concern is his inability to put consistent pressure on a defense in a real way as a perimeter shot creator and ball handler. The UConn situation has to be accounted for again, but he's also never been the biggest separator or the quickest, and he was extremely hesitant to take pull-ups outside of late clock or last resort situations, even with teams sticking a forward on him in the paint and just daring him to do literally anything. Now, on the positive side, this was another spot that Steph showed a lot more of in previous settings, even in their 4-2 tour last summer, but getting to the pull-up with ease, punishing teams in the pick and roll, being more aggressive downhill and as a shooter is all what will likely need to be there if he's going to handle the ball in a significant way in the NBA, especially because he's not also an elite athlete. Now, if his shot diet looked like this while playing for a bad team and not the most dominant champion in about 20 years, we'd be having a little different conversation, but I'm fairly optimistic he's capable of doing more. How much is the big question that teams will be looking to answer.
Castle mid-range. Look at
Jeremy Fears would be on that.
Rising up for 3 and connect. Castle off the pick. 13 or 14. Versatile player, brings a lot of toughness. Castle probing.
Good defensive team.
Castle. Oh! UConn with the offensive board. They do a lot of fake blur screens. Oh, Castle! Big finish!
down to 8. It's Castle, the 5-star freshman.
He can also have a tendency to get handsy and into foul trouble. Now, this wasn't a huge issue, but it'll be an adjustment for him to make with the way they officiate and the type of foul drawers he may be tasked with guarding. And he also wasn't perfect defensively. He had his share of lapses in general, but aside from that and maybe some athletic gains, it's mostly just questions about his role and things we've already alluded to. Can he make teams pay as a shooter off the ball? With the ball, can he draw too? How much of the passivity was a product of coaching and the role that he was in, and how much of it is just who he is at this level and beyond? Those are the things that come to mind more than any other area of his game that I pinpoint.
Castle wants to pull it so bad.
He's going to.
Step back jumper, NBA ready.
I'm sorry, Collier loves to deliver the assist. Castle loves to get into the paint.
They're one of the best at closing out a pass. So it's not going to be an easy pass. No doubt. Castle.
Offensively, I see Castle being a connective wing or off guard and someone that may start off as a bit of a Swiss Army knife, but also has the potential to be more of a secondary or tertiary creator in the future. And then defensively, I'm pretty confident he's going to be a plus and someone that you can put on 1 through 3 depending on the night. And I wouldn't say that about too many others, especially freshmen in this class, so that's how he'll see the floor first. His ceiling is almost completely predicated on the shot first and where the creation goes. I think realistically that means high-level starter, top 100 range, but best case maybe a little bit higher than that. If it's not there, it could get trickier for him, likely landing in the back of a rotation as a defensive specialist. He's likely going to land somewhere in the top 10, and post lottery I like teams like Charlotte, Utah, Memphis, San Antonio, and possibly Atlanta, but not at number 1. Comparison wise, it is difficult considering the role that he played this year, but from what he showed, he should be able to seamlessly do what Terrence Mann and Bruce Brown do with a little more playmaking. And I hate using Derek White as a comp now because it's kind of lazy and he's just so good, but on the highest end, that's probably who he should try to emulate. And again, Castle's going to be his own unique player.
third. Moving his feet, stay down, discipline, late. White throws it up on the glass.
Stephon Castle has a very good base to contribute at the next level with his defense, his playmaking upside, and wing size. However, big questions remain in where he makes an impact offensively due to his shooting and limited creation this year at UConn. In this class, I'm willing to bet on what he does do well and on him being capable of more offensively, but it'll likely be a process, though one that should yield high returns if he can put it together.